Hello everyone, and I'm back again. This time with certain new set of queries that you have put across to us. Thankfully, this time there is just one single theme emerging out of it. Yeah, let me show that to you. Yeah, I have shown you a dream of RBI Grade B. Now you wanted to ask us how is Merit Shine program going to help? At the very outset, let me kind of give this disclaimer. We refrain from doing such sessions, but we understand since ours is a new program in field of RBI grade B, some of you might not be very well aware. So next few minutes I'll like to take and acquaint you with our program. Okay, so I cannot get into the minutest detail here of the program, but I'll still try to give you a overall broad picture of what you can expect from this program. Okay, so first, if I give you the macro picture here, yeah, that is, it will have pre-recorded classes, live sessions, it'll have a Facebook group, it'll have a course portal, yeah, and finally there will be a test material, yeah, test material for phase 2, and you can expect it after you have finished your prelims test. Why can't we start releasing it right from the day you take admission? Because this exam, you have seen in my previous analysis, at least for the topics like ESI etc., almost 80% of it is current, and there is a timeline. They generally ask 4 to 6 months. So if I start giving you something and the test happens say 6 months later, all this will become stale, and hence we would like you to give the correct actual feel of what you can expect in the examination. That would be by having the same cutoff, roughly same timelines that RBI would be uh, considering for setting its own paper. Okay, so moving ahead, the first one, yeah. So what I plan to do here is give you the complete breakdown of each section, yeah, complete macro overview of each section. So ESI, I'll talk about finance, yeah, and then maybe I'll hand over to Ratnaba sir for talking about management and English. Okay, so let me get started with the ESI, yeah. Let me show you this slide we have already seen in our previous analysis. What was the takeaway? Yeah, we cannot ignore any topic, though some are of less relevance than others, but still 80% of it is going to be current. Yeah, 80% of it is current. Anything mentioned in the topics, if it gets picked up in the news, we should know about it. That is the idea, right? We all agree to it. So what I have done, all the course, whatever syllabus was prescribed, I have kind of tried to make sense by classifying them in three buckets. What do I see? The topics like growth and development, poverty alleviation, sustainable development, privatization, globalization, these are all finding a mention in economic book of class 11th NCRT. Yeah. And then what we have seen, even in the labor policy, what did you see? There was a direct scheme related question, isn't it? Now just look at measurement of growth, national income, monetary fiscal policy, balance of payment. This is something which you can expect in your class 12th NCRT. Yeah. Add to it, yeah, these topics which are very generic and something that we are living in day to day. What is this? The union budget just happened. In this, all those direct taxes, indirect taxes, non-tax revenues, inflation is now making headlines. Yeah, what is happening now, why it is happening, what are the components of it? Yeah, WPI, CPI, understanding 13th Finance Commission, devolution of the taxes collected under GST, FRBM Act, yeah, the fiscal slippage, all that is something we live day to day, right? So all that will be again comprehensively covered from the point of view of current affairs. So what we have seen so far, class 11th, class 12th, and current day-to-day life. Add to it the social structure, multiculturalism, demographic trend, urbanization, gender issues, social justice, discrimination, yeah, social movement. This we haven't seen any question in 2 years. Indian political system too. Again, yeah, if you remember the question, when can emergency be declared? Yeah, can you remember? India is defined as what? Yeah, union of state. Why that question would have come? Just think about the abrogation of the statehood of Jammu and Kashmir, right? Taking statehood there. Again, it talks about, you see the connect there. It's all very relevant. It is all connected. They're mostly trying to be relevant to the current context. That is what they try. Human development, social sectors in education, health and education. We saw, they can directly lift the scheme from here. Discrimination in favor of underprivileged. Yeah. So all these things. First, I have kind of classified them in bucket, and then let me show you the plan. How do I go about it? What would I target? Now that you have seen the syllabus, you understand the exam, let us see what we intend to do here. Yeah, though this program is for phase 2, but we cannot take phase 1 lightly. You saw how the cutoff shot up. Yeah, and many deserving students, those who did not take it seriously, were left out in phase 1 itself. Yeah, don't repeat that mistake. That's something to learn from. Look at this. This is our Y app. This there in the course portal. There is a course called What Happened Yesterday Y, wherein we cover this economy, political, business, general news. So you can just go back and check also if you want. Last year, more than 70 plus question out of 80 came from our Y itself in phase 1. Yeah. Weekly GK revision, gainful PDFs, what we do, whatever we put in Y. Yeah. Y is little more elaborate, condensed form of it we release in form of PDF for you to revise. Then we will have monthly banking, finance, RBI related news, live or recorded classes as the need be. This will be done. Yeah, so these three things, please note, this will be there even if you don't join our paid course also. Yeah, this will be available for everyone. Yeah, this timing of this might differ for the paid student and non-paid, but yes, these three things will also be there in the public domain. What will be exclusively here? Weekly revision quiz based on gainful. So first you do a Y, you revise it, and then take a quiz on our FB group. Monthly quiz on banking, finance, RBI news. This happened. Again, take a quiz on that. Now, this is a very powerful, yeah, say learning tool which we have one scheme a day called OSAD, an important revision of indices. One daily, just one scheme comprehensively, and one, yeah, report or indices we will cover comprehensively. So which ministry is it from? How much budget is allocated? What is the target? What are the indicators there? So all those deep dive we'll do in just one scheme. Just imagine if our exam happens 5 months down the line, you'll know 150 schemes inside out. We'll not need to go beyond say a 50 important reports or indices. That is also on the higher side because I told you what we will be looking at. The major IMF, World Bank, right? All the UN related or anything which has mention of India in positive light, yeah, or anything which makes headline. Again, the crux is the same. It has to be relevant in the current context. That's it. Now, all the chapter from NCERT 11th, I told you, either in the notes or video on the select topic, if need be, I'll do it for you. Yeah, if you're having problem, even after the notes, if you have problem somewhere, I'll do that. But class 12th, all the topic that is foundation. Yeah, I'll be doing all of them. Yeah, all of them will be given to you in live or recorded class. Then we'll have this budget and economic survey again completely in the video form. Then you also saw there were some more materials that RBI mentioned like RBI bulletin. We talked about it. The latest before exam we will try to cover. We have added something more. Their annual report once your annual year ends after the 30th June. Yeah, they will definitely be coming up with this report. We'll discuss this also. Right, financial stability report. I think they release it couple of times in once in June and once in December. We'll also take out the notes from there. So these red ones are all notes. Yojana Kurukshetra, I told you, it's a wonderful magazine if you're preparing for paper 2, right? I told you, brilliant essays with very knowledgeable people with a lot of relevant information. But what we will be doing is we'll be picking up relevant schemes from there, and again I'll giving you the notes. World Development Report, again important points will be given you in the form of notes. Committee, growth prediction and ranking, they generally get lost in these news. So and we have seen that certain committees or growth prediction by UNCTAD has come, some ranking where India is put favorably or something which made news can come. So we'll be kind of collecting it separately so that you can just quickly have a glance and check where we stand as of any given day. Niti Aayog report, anything if they come up with again some report on SDG where and how India is doing, etc., will be covered. Now note this: revision of all concepts, whether this is live classes or recorded classes or your any of these notes in the red, yeah, all this will be tested again. You will be again tested in form of MCQ. and add to it. Since our Facebook group is there, most of your doubts and queries will be solved there. If there is something where I feel I need to intervene, more of my understanding will be needed to explain, that will be again taken in some live class. You can do not worry about any doubt, etc. Nothing gets unresolved. You can check our Facebook group, even the non-paid ones. Your YouTube, hardly a single comment goes unnoticed or unanswered. We take care of all that. Okay, moving ahead now, I have shown you in brief. Yeah, I told you I'll not be able to cover everything. But scheme is something which students are little wary about. They are a little worried. How do we go about this? So for this, let me kind of give you the full assurance. Yeah, we'll cover it extensively. The very first lecture of mine will be a video introduction about schemes. Herein we generally know about xyz schemes, yeah, manrega, this that, but we really do not understand the genesis, how government sees it. What is central sector scheme? Yeah, what is centrally sponsored scheme? Yeah, we do not understand the funding pattern of these schemes. We do not understand how it is different from for union territories and Himalayan state, how union territories are different, those who are having legislature of their own versus someone who are just plain union territory. So all that introduction I will do in my first lecture, and from there onwards I will introduce you to OSAD, one scheme a day, wherein I'll give you a passage to read, right? Then I'll be asking you this scheme to read. Yeah, then you will be quizzed on it in the evening. Then the same quiz will be put even for your revision on our course portal, where you can take those tests as again MCQ. All OSAD quiz, yeah, monthly PDF will continue to be updated. So 30 schemes that we did, or maybe say 25, we'll leave Saturdays or Sundays. We'll see as the group wants, and then we'll kind of keep updating. So first month 25, next month it becomes a 50 scheme document. Next month it becomes another 75 say scheme document, and it'll continue like that. List of all important schemes I'll give you, and I'll cover in a class, all state as well as the national, which has ever found mention in any news from Jan 2019's updated monthly till your final exam happens. Yeah, we will be doing it till a week back, till a week before your actual examination. So don't tell me, if I give you something in the last week, don't come back at me and tell me, sir, you are still giving me. That's for your own good. That is over and all additional material that I'll be providing you. Then I'll be giving you the live or recorded class of ministry wise. Which ministries we are talking about? Health, education, yeah, all those vulnerable group, positive discrimination one, all the policies like industrial and labor policy, that we will cover. Anything which has the relevance from our syllabus perspective will be covered in full, any and every scheme of there. And then we will do also the live class, where we will have say 50 questions, multiple choice. We'll see your understanding, how much you have learned and how much you are able to recall. Moving on, we'll be putting multiple choice question also, all those questions which happened in the class and addition to it, for your testing and understanding of the scheme. And this will be all very neatly segregated, so that you really don't have to waste time finding where what things are. Yeah, so I hope, yeah, I have given you brief idea about what you can expect in our course in the ESI section. Now I'll show you what we intend to do in the finance section. I have already shown you the kind of granular detail that we would like to go into for one. I'll not get into that detail here, also because I think I did not take you through the first introduction to the finance session. I'll try to do it in a couple of days, wherein I'll again show you the paper. If you can trust me, yeah, just know this is one of the easiest section. But why it is tricky? It's so interesting. It's so interesting, especially this financial market part, that you can spend your next 2 3 years and these topics will not finish. Yeah, that's the catch. So when I show you, when I do that analysis, I'll show you what kind of questions actually appear. Basis that you will have to restrain yourself and limit that curiosity to acquire more knowledge, and stick to also just stick at this moment in time with a focus on clearing the examination. That is the only problem with this section. Yeah, it's very easy. I'll do that in a couple of days. You will see the question. But for now, I showed you this, yeah, slide wherein all these were like mumble jumbled. So I have kind of segregated them, and it came down to just your these four buckets, right? You see this is financial market, all bank related and all financial institute related, right? Now, if you see this part here, I have already taken in ESI. Yeah, this is prescribed in the syllabus of finance, but I'll be covering these topics. Reserve Bank of India, function and conduct. This will be monetary policy. Union budget, direct and indirect taxes, GST, 13th Finance Commission, FRBM, inflation trend. All these things I'll be covering under ESI. Yeah, you will be tested by RBI here, but I'll be already covering. So only these three buckets actually will fall under our finance classes, which will be divided into three. One, financial market, banks, and other institutes. Okay, though I'll not be able to, I told you, I'll do a complete session on it. I'll just show you a brief breakdown of where the question came from, out of these four buckets, where the questions actually came from. Look at this, risk 2018, very high. Primary secondary market, the first bucket, yes, good, this was the second bucket. Banking system in India, again, second bucket. RBI function in the ESI, right? Fiscal, again, ESI, yeah. Look at this fiscal. We have seen recent development in financial sector. Yeah, this is your third bucket. WPIC, CPI, again ESI, and again some less weightage. Let's look at this corporate governance wala part. Again second bucket. Fiscal policy budget again. Yeah, ESI. Primary secondary market again first bucket. Risk second bucket. Public sector reforms. Yeah, and financial inclusion, if you will see this, I can put in the second bucket. Instrument of financial market, again this is the first bucket, and then here again it starts to go down. GST, ESI wala section. Banking system, yeah, and again this is second. Disinvestment was your third bucket. So if you look at these question patterns, yeah, you will be able to see that these, yeah, the financial market one, yeah, your banking system wala, and your finance to be covered in ESI are having maximum weightage. Yeah, this part is actually getting tested very less, but nonetheless we will finish every single word written here in the current context. We'll be focusing on them also. We'll give you the notes to read about it. We'll also introduce you to it. But yes, we should understand where to focus and how much in depth we should go. So what are my plans? What are our plans, I should say? We'll be doing the video introduction to all the lectures. Video lecture will be covering all the topic across module from ABC. You'll be given the reading notes covering all the topics from each of these modules, yeah, in ABC. MCQ across each section, you will be asked. Like I had OSAT, you will have one concept a day. What is this? How it is different from the video lectures you will, where I'll be covering all the things already. Yeah, this is to, not refrain your knowledge acquisition, the hunger to acquire knowledge, and also keep it limited by giving you, a bracket not to move out. So what we will do when say suppose we teach you derivatives, right? The part which is relevant for exam will be covered here in the video and your reading note. But we'll tell you how it is actually used in the industry, what is happening here. Just one concept, briefly introduced, so that your even this learning, when you have a context to it, it will remain in your head for a longer time. You'll be able to understand it better. You'll be able to not just understand, you'll be able to relate to these concepts. That is the idea about introducing this one concept a day. All OCAT quiz, yeah, and not that you'll be just Gyan session. Something, anything and everything related to exam, you will be tested also. So not just all fun session here. Huh? You will be tested also. Then of course we'll have again similar to the light classes revision in your ESI, you will have it here also. Doubt solving session based on question raised earlier sessions as well as Facebook group will again be. So with that, I think I've given you good glimpse about what is expected in this program in ESI and finance section. Yeah. Now I'd like to ask Ratnabha sir to explain what he intends to do with management and English section. Okay, before I hand it over to Ratnabha sir, I have been getting couple of queries over the past 2 days about our result in RBI Grade B last year's batch. I really do not understand how their result is going to be more important than your own hard work, our guidance, our pedagogy, our faculty here, the course content. But still, for sake of record and your curiosity, let me tell that to you. Last time when we offered this batch, it was for just phase 2. Yeah. and it was a small batch, out of which only 5 students could appear for phase 2. Again, goes on to talk about the importance of taking phase 1 very seriously. Unfortunately, none of them cleared the phase 2. We are still waiting for their marks to come out so that we can analyze what actually went wrong there. Yeah. For all it matters, let me share you another piece of information. Of all the enrollments that we have had in this current batch, third of them are from that same batch, RBI Grade B, last year's batch, which goes on to say something, yes, that we did something right in that batch, yeah, to inspire that confidence in them to place their trusts back in us, yeah. I only hope you know the results are different this time and we get a lot of good news. I'm not asking you to believe me just like that. If you have any apprehension regarding this program, go back and watch some of the sessions that we have released in last few days and then take a call whether Samir looks like someone who understands ESI. Yeah, is Ratnava having a grip on the management section? This is how you're supposed to take the call about the program, and I have just showed you in brief what you can expect inside the program. Yeah, so with that, I'll hand it over to Ratnabha sir to talk about his management and English section. Yeah, over to you, sir.
Hello, welcome to the management segment of today's session. So today what we are going to do is to answer your queries that you have put forward in various forums and asked us about the course and some things related to management. So the agenda is first of all, I'm going to address one very interesting query that you have been putting asking us over the course of last 2 days, and most importantly after yesterday's lecture, after yesterday's session on YouTube. And that was that how do we make management interesting? Sir, how do we study management in an interesting way? There are so many theories and it seems so boring. Now I thought that this is something that I need to address immediately, because if RBI Grade B manager aspirants think management to be boring, then it's not a right sign, right? So the first reaction that I would give is, are you joking? Management is one of the most interesting topics that is there, right? But the catch is that you will have to know how to study it. You'll have to know how to make it interesting. So that is what I am going to do for the first 5-10 minutes. I will share with you a technique of excelling in management studies, right? This technique has its genesis when I started my lectures in the B school teaching for the semester exams of the management college students. I started teaching in this technique. Not only they loved it, they found it very useful in their practical applications also. Today also many of them tell me that they use these techniques in their real life jobs too. So in an exam like RBI Grade B, which tests you on your understanding of the concepts, this technique is surely going to help you a lot. So I'm going to share this technique with you. Obviously the rest is up to you how you design it around all the concepts. So that is one thing that would answer your query, that how to make management study interesting. The second part of this segment would be, what is the design of the Merit Shine course? That is also something that you have been asking, that how would we design or plan our Merit Shine course, the management segment, and what are you expected to do alongside it? So what is expected from you so that you take the maximum benefit out of this course. Okay, right? So let's start off with making management interesting for you, and for that we will take 3 to 4 questions from 2019 paper and show you, if you had studied this in this way, in those topics in this way, you could have answered these questions very easily, very efficiently. Okay, chalo, let's look at the first question. A 1 marker question from the topic leadership. I'll take 3-4 different topics. Leadership theory in which dyadic relationship between leader and followers are formed is known as. So here are your 4 options: LMX theory, situational theory, participation theory, and contingency theories. Now, allow into the option. First, what kind of topic it is? I mean, subtopic, it is leadership theory. Now, in that, what is the important keyword in the question? Dyadic relationship. That means a two-way relationship between leader and follower. Now, if you have read your leadership theories, you would remember one two-way leadership relationship between a leader and a follower, and that is this: an inner circle, and in the inner circle, happy faces. If I associate it in this way, an inner circle of group of leader and follower where they are happy faces, and an outer circle where there are sad faces. Why happy faces? Because the subordinates who are in the inner circle of the manager, that is the inner circle of the manager, receive high performance rating, obtain rewards, promotions quickly, and hence they are very satisfied with their leader and they do not leave the company. Whereas the people who are in the outer group, they are not close to their leader, they don't obtain rewards and promotion, and hence they might leave company, higher turnover. Now, if you had associated this, right, and what is this theory called? This theory is called LMX theory, leader member exchange theory. This is a theory of relationship between leader and follower where there is a dyadic relationship, right? So a leader does not treat everyone equally. Now, if you had, while you were studying LMX theory, while you were studying the theory of LMX, you had made this diagram and associated it this way, the moment you read this question, wouldn't you have been able to answer this question within 5 seconds? That the answer to this question would be LMX theory? Yes or no? Right? You even do not need to know about the other. Obviously, you know about the other ones, but you do not need to know about the others for answering this question. Okay? Right? So that was the first question. Now I'll show you the next one. Now from the topic or the chapter motivation, moral and incentive. Okay, the question says, which theory says that in an organization, employees compare themselves on the basis of input and output of their colleague. Input and output. So this is a theory of motivation, right? So theory of motivation, and what is the keyword? Input and output, which means comparison. If you have studied your motivation theories, the moment input and output and comparison would come into picture, this should come into your mind. But this will only come into your mind when you have studied it this way. And what is this? This is a balance of input and output. Input is what an employee is putting in his job. Output is what an employee is getting out of it. Pay, bonus, perks, benefits, right? And input is time, effort, everything. Now, how does he balance it? And what is the parameter? The scale is calibrated with respect to the market. Both the internal market, that means that the employee compares himself with other employees in that particular organization, his colleagues, and also his friends working in other organization. And after comparison, if he finds that the output he is getting is not at par with the input he is giving, then they start thinking that they are being unfairly treated, and therefore they become demotivated and they do not apply the necessary efforts. This is called Adams equity theory. Now tell me, if you had studied Adams equity theory in this way, would you or would you not have been able to answer this question just by looking at this question? That the answer to this question would be equity theory. It would not be drive reduction theory of Clark-Hull, it would not be Hawthorne effect, Landersberg's, or it would not be theory X and theory Y, but it is equity theory. So see, the moment you associate, this is the trick, this is the technique that I have been talking about, association. Associate the theories with something of an image, something of a easy remembering tool, easy associative technique. So that association would help you a lot to remember them, and it would make this topic interesting too. Chalo, let's move on to the next question. The next question is from another chapter, and that is human resource development. I am showing you all the chapters so that you know that this is how you can do it for all the chapters, not only for one chapter. Human resource development. Which of the following is a 4-stage training evaluation model? Now, the problem with this is that this is not directly from the syllabus, not directly, not mentioned specifically, because this is training evaluation which was not part of the RBI syllabus directly. But obviously, if you study in detail, you would get across it. And if you have studied training evaluation model, and that also in 4 stage, you would know that we are talking about this. If you had made a diagram in your copy like this, where the 4 stages has been listed, first stage, reaction, where you answer the question that after the training, was the trainee satisfied and happy? Then the second question, the second level question, level 2 question is, did the trainee acquire the relevant skills? The third question was, or the level 3 question is, was there any improvement in his behavior after he went after training? Right. And the final question or the final level is, did we see any visible changes in the result? Now, this is the 4-level Kirkpatrick's 4-level framework. Now, if you had studied Kirkpatrick's 4-level framework in this way, the moment you would have got this question, which of the following is a 4-stage training evaluation model, wouldn't you have been able to answer? You would have been able to eliminate this one, ARCS model, right? Because it's not a training evaluation model. You would have been able to eliminate expectancy model because that's not a training evaluation model. Yes, you might have been in a doubt between Kirkpatrick's and Phillips model. But if you had studied in a little bit of detail, you would know that Kirkpatrick's and Phillips model is a 6-level model, 6-stage model, and it came after Kirkpatrick's original model, 10 years after Kirkpatrick gave his first model, right? So, and they are specifically asking about 4-stage training evaluation model. So, it has to be B, right? Okay. So, see, the moment you study in this way, in the association technique, you sort of remember so much more than if you do not. Now, the last question of today, a topic which is said to be as one of the most uninteresting topic, corporate governance in management, one of the most uninteresting topic. Now, let's take a question from here. Which of the following is a secondary stakeholder in corporate governance? Now, we are talking about stakeholders in corporate governance. Now, if you had studied stakeholder, again, this is a question which is not directly from the syllabus, but yes, related to corporate governance. Now, but if you have studied stakeholder in corporate governance in this way, a circle, and the circle represents the company, and inside the circle, the internal or the primary stakeholders, employees, managers, owners, these 3 players, and outside the circle, the external or the secondary stakeholders, suppliers, society, government, creditor, customers, all of them. Now, if these are the stakeholders of the corporate governance, now I'll have to just check the option and see which one of the option is a secondary stakeholder. Are owners secondary stakeholders? No. Are managers? No. Are employees? No. They are all primary stakeholders. So, which is the secondary stakeholder? Obviously, government. Government is the secondary stakeholder. Okay, right? So, that was your question, corporate governance question, but that also you can associate and make it interesting. Right? So, that was how you make, government is the answer, and that was how you make the management studies interesting. So, now, how should you prepare? I have already discussed this in my last lecture, in my last session yesterday. So, go through that in detail. So, you need to see the syllabus and what analysis you need to make. I have said in detail in the last lecture. So, just go through it. Now, what will come to it is how the Merit Shine course is designed in management, right? So, what is the Merit Shine management course design? Let's look at it. First, we will complete the complete theory classes using association technique, right? The theory classes would use association technique, the technique that I showed you just now, for the most important areas and the areas where concepts or theories which can be associated with interest, and practice session classes. So, classes for theory, classes for practice sessions. All of these are full length lectures ranging from 1.5 hours, 1 hour 15-20 minutes to 2 hours in some cases, right? So they are full length lectures, these are not shorts. Now and there will be more than 40 full length lectures of this. After every lecture, after every theory lecture, you will get a comprehensive chapter on each topic. Now let me show you how a chapter looks like in in your case. For this example, in management, this would be a chapter. Chapter 1, fundamentals of management, right? Now these are the 8 areas. For example, you want to look at definition of management, so it is here, but you need to look at the nature and concepts of management. So you will go in here, nature and concept of management, you be there, right? For the first time you would go through the whole chapter. I'm talking about if you want to refer back to some important areas, then you can use the the links in the first page to navigate, right? Then there would be association in the chapters also, then the next chapter, right? And here we will talk about everything. So these are the comprehensive chapters that you need to study. This is your study material, okay? And then and each one of the topic that has been discussed in the class would be in detail presented in the chapter, so that when you read the chapter you have the clear cut idea about, with the class in the chapter, you have the clear cut idea about what everything in this means, right? So this would be the chapters. Each chapter would be, some chapters would be 25 to 30 pages, some chapters would be 40 pages, right? So the sizes would vary, right? And if you want to go to any one of these, you just need to click on the link and you would go in there and scroll through and read the whole thing. So these are the kind of chapters that you would get. And then after the chapters, and along with the chapters also, sometimes you will get class tests, activities and assignments. These would help in your midterm revision. I told you, midterm revision is important. And we would end the course of management at least 1 month before the exams, so that you get more and more time to revise, and you would get then mocks, and obviously you will have mocks to evaluate your preparedness. So this is the complete course that is on offer when it comes to the Merit Shine Management Course Design. Now what are you expected to do? I mean, what do we expect from you to do so that you get the maximum benefit? First, follow my instructions sincerely. I'll be giving everything in an order I want it to be followed. Simple. Second, make your own notes from lectures and chapters and participate in the activities, okay, right, that I conduct in the group, in our sessions. Be on schedule with respect to lectures, with respect to completing assignments, taking mocks. Be on schedule, okay, and revise regularly from your own notes. So if you look at this, these 4 or 5 activities, we are already doing it for you. What you need to do is the next 3 or 4 activities, okay? So half of it is we are already doing it for you, but then you would get the benefit of that half only when you use it the way I have intended it to be used, okay, right? So that was all for in management. Hope it is clear now. How do you make management interesting? How do you create interest in the studies of management, and plus how do you study management? And if you are being a part of the Merit Shine course, what are you expected to do? Okay, right? Now let's move on to the descriptive part of RBI Grade B. Let's discuss what is its design and what are you expected to do about it. So RBI Grade B phase 2 will first understand the RBI descriptive, then I'll tell you where to start in general, and then what is the Merit Shine course design and how to use it best. Okay, right? So this would also address all your queries regarding how do you prepare for descriptive, and how if you are a part of the Merit Shine course, how you should use that course. Okay, chalo, let's first look at the RBI Grade B phase 2 2019. Total 100 marks paper, 90 minutes, 3 tasks are given: essay writing, pressy writing, RC reading comprehensions questions. Essay 40 marks, 300 words. Prezi 30 marks, 170 words. Last year, this is of last year. For 300 words essay, last year the words were a little more as I remember. And RC 30 marks, 5 questions. These were the topics of essay last year: scope of 5G technology, higher education, issues and challenges, value of vote in a democracy. So these were the three topics for essay, and pretty obvious topics, and topics which you would know about, I think, because you would be reading so much of current affairs. And even if not current affairs, there were general topics also, like higher education. You might have used some data from current affairs, but overall topics which were very straight and you could have written. Topic of RC was a passage on International Monetary Fund, and the topic of Prezi was a passage on capital account convertibility. So this is related to your area, but in this you need to know how to write. Okay, so where do you start if you are preparing by yourself? What is the starting point? First, you should understand the basics of writing. And for that you can take help of the Merit Shine's open YouTube lectures. So there are 2 playlists that are important. One is personality development playlist, the lecture 2 and lecture number 6 of that, and RBI Grade B English sessions. There are 3 lectures in that. So these are the 2 that I am talking about. This is the RBI Grade B English sessions, and this is the personality development playlist. Okay, right. And the most important thing, practicing regularly, and if possible get it evaluated sometimes by an expert. Okay, right. So that was the if you're preparing for this by yourself. Now, what is the Merit Shine course design? First, we will take comprehensive lectures on techniques of writing, including punctuation, where to give, how to write, how to frame our sentences, everything. Then I'll show you how to write in each one of these cases. Essay writing, how do you do it? Prezi writing, how do you do it? By showing you on actual questions. Then detailed instructions of how to practice will give. Assignments to get you started, the first set of assignments so that you start doing it, and then getting regularized it is obviously your call, but will get you started. And this is very important, I would evaluate selected assignments to help students improve. So some selected assignments I will tell beforehand that these are the assignments that I will evaluate. You are to submit that, and I will evaluate them and give you feedback. So this is the Merit Shine course design. Okay, so everything that I have learned over my course of writing, reading over these last decade, I would be sharing with you. Now, what is expected from you? First, follow my instructions of lectures and those which I share in the group sincerely. Be on schedule with respect to lectures and completing assignments. I will show you how the assignments would look like, right? So, as example, this is an essay writing assignment. I'll give an essay writing assignment, and here there would be topics and dates in which you need to submit. Okay, and I'll also tell you which one I would evaluate. But then that does not mean that you would not submit all of them. You will submit all of them. So there would be number of words, there would be the dates in which you need to submit them. So this is an essay writing assignment. Similarly, there would be reading comprehension and Prezi assignments. Now reading comprehension assignment would be looking like this, right? Would look like this. So there would be a passage and there would be questions on it. You will have to submit the questions of that on a particular day, which I would tell you from I'll give you a prior notice of that. Okay, so these are the kinds of assignments. So these things have to be done on time, on schedule, right? And regular, weekly, once or twice practice till phase 1 and daily practice after phase 2. Now this is something that you would have to do by yourself. This is something that I expect you to do after you have learned how to do it, after you have learned what to do. You should do this, because in this I have no control. You will, if you do it, you get the benefit of it. Okay, right? So that was about the descriptive. Hope it has cleared all your doubts regarding the descriptive part of the course. So That concludes our special session, and this was a session which was directed to answer all your queries that you had put up regarding the RBI exam and the RBI course of Merit Shine. Hope all your queries have been resolved. We have tried to cover all of them, but by chance if something we have missed, then put that query of yours in the comment section, and we will answer that too, right? So now that those who have decided to go for RBI Grade B exams, prepare for RBI Grade B exams, be ready for the grill, because you know this is a very competitive exam, a very prestigious exam, so you will have to measure up to it, right? We at Meritshine would be giving our best in this, and we would hope that people who would be joining with us would also give their 120%, because then only we would be able to create magic in this particular area. Okay, right? So that would be all for today. As I told you, if you have anything, any doubts that remains, just put it in the comment section. We will get back to you. So thank you very much. Bye bye, and all the best.